The Cigar Nerds Podcast.
And welcome to Cigar Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, Smokin' Joe.
I'm Brad Jackson.
The Raspy.
The Raspin' Jackson.
Well, I'm smoking something fancy. I got the new Rocky Patel Gold Label. It's got a Ecuadorian Habano wrapper over Connecticut shade and broadleaf binders with a fillers from Jalapa and Esteli.
You know, it's funny. I actually have one of those cigars.
Wow, have you smoked it yet?
No. I was, like I said, at midnight, you know, the throat and stuff started acting up and I was having all these coughing fits. And I was like, I'm going to record with you today.
And then die.
I mean, I don't really feel bad per se, but
yeah, just throat sinus drainage, jack your throat up or something. Do you want to do a review on Dayquil?
I highly recommend
notes of cherries and
Dayquil, severe cold and flu, acetaminophen, all these other big words. All I know is it still tastes like quill, and we'll see how it goes.
You do a cold video and be like, all right, yeah, here's the cigars to pair with Dayquil.
I feel like we should do an infomercial. And today's episode brought to you by Vicks.
We'll get some of the old school tussin and just like get all fucked up and try to record an episode and be like, no telling what would like. We don't remember this episode. We just gotta like review the tape later to figure out what the fuck we were talking about because we were robo tripping.
That never works well. Like, people are like, yeah, we should totally record when we're drunk or whatever. I remember us doing that one time, and it's like, all the ideas that seem so great. It's like, this sounds like absolute horseshit.
Oh, that's like the Joe Rogan did a podcast. I think it was having Post Malone, but they just did mushrooms before the podcast, and it's like 3 hours of just gibberish. It's like a show that only makes sense to them. It's like, yeah, there's some things you just can't do on drugs.
Well, it's different for the people that are in the same mindset, right? It's like, it's fun to be around drunk people when you're drunk.
Yeah.
It's annoying as fuck to be around drunk people when you're sober. Depending on, you know, who said people are and whatnot. But
yeah, true enough.
You know, if you're not on that level, then chances are it's not going to be a good time because you're just going to end up like...
Yeah, I spent too much time in law enforcement dealing with drunk assholes that I'm like, unless I am also the drunk asshole, I hate fucking drunks. It's like, just shut the fuck up. Sit down. Shut the fuck up. But speaking of weird assholes, this week we're talking about Deadpool and Wolverine, the thing we've been wanting for God knows how many years. It finally happened, and we're going to go deep into it. Spoiler alerts and whatnot. And if you've got to...
deep.
Yeah, deep in the pool. We're going to the deep end of the pool. And if you're going to fight rogue TVA agents, you should call in the Strike Force. StrikeForceEnergy.com. Promo code Cigar Nerds for 20% off your order. Comes in little tiny tin pouches you can put in your utility belt.
Or your prison wallet.
Either
your
one.
choice.
But we'll be right back with the show. And welcome back. Time for some Deadpool. X gonna give it to you. Fucking, before we even get into like the meat of this, fucking Deadpool movies always have the best soundtracks.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, they had all the, you know, IP properties, all of them.
And it's always like shit that you don't think would fit in like a big like epic action moment, but then you're like
bye.
Yes, like I've never knew I wanted to see like, you know, extreme violence to an NSYNC song that I'm like, all right. Deadpool
made it happen.
Yeah, but this is like something
I mean, with Disney dollars, dude, everything's possible.
And the thing about this particular movie is just, I told someone the other day, they asked, I was like, this is the greatest movie ever made for people of a certain age. Because it's really a love letter to the Fox Marvel universe before. Like, if you're like us and you're in your early 40s or mid 40s, and you grew up on those original Marvel movies before the MCU was even a thing, when you had, Blade, Daredevil, the X-Men, all that original shit. There's even the fucking first couple Fantastic Four movies before that last one that really sucked. It's like, this was like just a goodbye to like all those things like from our childhood. There was like, oh shit, this like, fucking like, or the other thing is it went, and I appreciated this in this movie, because a lot of movies, they're like, hey, all right, yeah, this is a comic book property, but we've got to kind of water it down enough for people who aren't fans of comics to get what's going on in this movie. Where this, they're like, fuck that. We went like hardcore into the Wolverine and Deadpool lore. So it's like, if someone's like a young person who's only knows Deadpool from the Deadpool movies, there might not be a lot of shit that you like do not understand in this movie, but people like kind of in our wheelhouse that have like read Wolverine, read Deadpool, watched all the old Marvel Universe movies before Disney, it's like, oh fuck, this is like everything that I've ever wanted jammed into one fucking movie.
It was just Mad Max.
Yeah.
With comic book characters.
And it's such a like just crazy like shit collection of things that it's like, most time we review a movie, we kind of go in chronological order, but this fucking movie's a fever dream. I don't even know if I can keep up with like
dude, I'm gonna
chronological order.
I'm for sure gonna have to watch it a second time. One, because it was that good, and then two, like the parts I was laughing my ass off and stuff in, like I'm sure there was shit happening that like
there's
I didn't
so
even
much
catch.
Like shit like in the background of scenes and stuff that it's like, like once it comes out on video, I've got to watch it again just so I can like pause and be like, what the hell is going on? But you already mentioned NSYNC, bye. That's when I knew that I'm like, oh, this movie's going like hard, because I mean it starts off with the TVA like recruiting Deadpool, and they're like, hey, by the way, there's anchor beings that are such a powerful integral part of this universe that once they die, the whole universe will eventually die. And we're just gonna like, skip ahead and just destroy your whole universe. But you're special because you can like see the multiverse and shit, and so we want you to like, come join this other universe. But everyone you know and love is dead because, Wolverine died in your universe. And he's like, fuck that, now I have to save my universe. He's like, that's not how heathen factors work. Wolverine's not dead. And then goes to like dig up fucking Wolverine's body from the end of Logan, if you've seen that movie. And he's like, fuck, he's really dead. But then the TVA shows up, and we get this huge epic fight where he's using Wolverine's corpse as a fucking weapon.
Yes.
That was the point where I was like, oh, this movie's going to go. Anyone who worried about Disney taking over Deadpool and neutering him was like, nope, these motherfuckers are going to go hard.
With lots and lots and lots of monies. Wow. Check. Man, my mic just dropped on me.
I think say, was it you or was it
No,
your voice?
I don't know if it's a voice to mic, what it was. Something's being weird.
Still sounds normal.
Well, that's good. As long as you hear normal, I don't.
Yeah, like there was like just a small like.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
But fucking the point where he like starts using Wolverine's legs as nunchucks. I was like, goddamn, I want some bone nunchucks now. That looks badass.
Oh, speaking of which, I have some nunchucks. Do you need nunchucks? I happen to have a couple pairs.
Would you just randomly come across nunchucks?
Don't ask, don't tell, motherfucker. Okay? You might not be the only ninja.
I got a couple nunchucks. I got a chain whip, too. I don't know how to use it, but I bought one.
But I don't know, going back to, kind of this era. I mean, dude, you had fucking Goo Goo Dolls, NSYNC, Avril Lavigne.
Yes, it was just like, what, an early 2000s,
Fergie,
late 90s fucking playlist of... And it's like, everyone's like, yeah, it's the joke, like, freaking...
And Green Day. I forgot about them.
Because it was what was it? The video for Celine Dion's song from the last movie. He's like, she's too much of a diva. I knew I should have got NSYNC for this. And then sure enough, he gets NSYNC for the next movie.
Of course he does.
But yeah, when he straps on the Wolverine claws during that fight too, it's like, I was like, there was a few moments in this movie where I was like, "Fuck yes!" And he's like, "Yeah!" I starts trying to and then he ends up stabbing himself in the arm. He's like, "Fuck, being a Wolverine is hard." He stabs the one guy in the dick and the other one in the ass, and gets his hand stuck. And I was like, "Oh shit!" Fucking Disney just let him do whatever the fuck he wanted for this movie.
Dude, they would be foolish not to.
I saw some interviews with the director, and they're like, that whole joke about not being able to do cocaine in this movie, he's like, that's real. That's really the only thing, Kevin Feige was like, hey guys, I want us to make a Deadpool movie, but would it be all right if we didn't do all the drugs? And they're like, no, yeah, sure, no problem. And they're like, we immediately went and wrote that scene of how Kevin Feige won't let us do cocaine. That was one of the first jokes we wrote for this movie. And now I've got some new, Booger Sugar was, always my, kind of one of my favorite. But then Forrest Bump, I'm like, I like that. I got some new cocaine references that I didn't have before.
So now go tell all your law enforcement buddies, and then we'll have to create new slang.
Forrest Bump.
Nobody's allowed to have fun around Joe.
I'm retired. Do all the cocaine you want.
You guys cool?
Whoa. We're not that cool. If someone ever asks you in a strip club if you're cool, don't say you're cool or they'll do cocaine on your table. You're like, bro, we need to define what you mean by cool, because there's cool and then there's...
I was just disappointed that there was no
cocaine.
stripper ass and cocaine. I thought both of those had to go hand in hand. I thought that was the universal, but maybe the table's cleaner than the ass. I'm not sure.
That club probably.
Like Deadpool and Wolverine, we too have had adventures.
But yeah, when he finds out that his Wolverine is dead, and then goes on the well, we're just gonna go find another Wolverine. And man, they went through almost every freaking comic version of Wolverine.
Yes.
I was like, that, even the future Wolverine where he's missing a hand, and then Cavalrine. I mean, if Hugh Jackman's retiring and we're finally bringing the X-Men into the Marvel universe, gotta say Henry Cavill looked pretty badass smoking a cigar and
Oh yeah,
with the Wolverine
for sure.
hair and shit. I was like, oh damn. And even Deadpool's like, yes, come on, bro, we'll treat you way better than those guys down the street. Fuck DC, man, come work with us.
That's what I love too. Just all of the jokes about all of the big companies that have made everybody millions.
Yeah, because that's one of the great things about Deadpool is his just mental weirdness that he actually knows he's a comic book character and kind of sees all the universes and he even has a fucking Will Smith reference when the guy's like, you're the worst thing to ever come out of Canada, and he freaking bounces his sword through his head. He's like, keep my country's name out of your fucking mouth. And my sword. Get that back. Yeah, I heard a stat that there's 119 uses of the word fuck in the Marvel Universe. One of those is in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and the other 118 are in Deadpool.
I believe it. Aren't you allowed like one fuck to keep the PG-13
yes, you can
rating?
get one fuck in a PG-13. But they've never taken advantage of that until
Guardians.
Guardians, yeah. Just get in the fucking car. Especially like a movie series that has Samuel L. Jackson. How they've not used fuck yet, I don't know. I thought that was in his contract. He almost got it that one time. He's like, "What the?" And then he turned to dust before he could finish. Just cock teasing us with the. He tried to give a fuck and they wouldn't let him.
Tried so hard.
Tried so hard, got so far.
I don't know. Has anybody checked on the price index of Honda Odysseys, though? That's my question. Like, everybody now is going to run out and be like, yeah, got me an Odyssey.
Oh. Just the TVA banishes them to the void, as we saw in the Loki series, where all the things that have been erased from various timelines go to become junk. And we get, like, all the fucking, like, old heroes.
No, dude, we just got Mad Max with comic book characters.
That one, like, fucking ship that, like, just looked like just a giant dick dragging two balls.
My anchor's not anchoring.
Oh, but that one, because, like, I had the benefit, like, I had to see this opening weekend because I was like, there's going to be so much shit in here that's going to get spoiled in the next couple of weeks that I didn't know, like, they had.
See, I'm really good about staying off of the Facebooks and everything else. Like, I'm weird, dude. I'm weird.
You work a real job where you're out in the world. I sit on the internet all day. It's pretty much my job. So I come across tons of shit. But I had no idea the amount of cameos this movie was going to have. But that first one where, well, other than the Henry Cavill Wolverine, where, like, you know, they're fighting the bad guys, and there's like, we got to work, you know, we don't fight each other, we work together. He's like, oh shit. And he's, you know, got kind of a scarf over, so you can't see that, but you see some red, white, and blue, and you're like, is it? If fucking Deadpool, it's Cap. He's like, he's gonna say the thing. He's gonna say the thing. He's like, say the thing, and he's like, flame on, and he's like, what the shit? And I'm like, oh fuck, it's Johnny Storm.
Now that's a superhero landing.
It's so weird seeing him do that character again. Like, you've just associated Evans with Captain America, and you almost, like, forget that he was in Fantastic Four. And then hearing him cuss, it's like, oh, we've got so used to Cap, like, language. Like, he's like, fuck that bitch. That he didn't have to do as much roids because Johnny Storm is a little bit skinnier than Cap. That's half the reason he retired. He's like, dude, I'm getting tired of, like, doing all the roids. Like, Cap's like, I'm just too swole to be Cap anymore. I just want to be a regular, like, you know.
I just want to be a regular guy.
Regular dude.
It's not America's ass anymore. It's going to get replaced.
And it's every time him and Wolverine get into a fight, it's basically two immortals fighting. You can't really do anything. They can't kill each other. But they just ridiculously fuck each other up. And, like, and
then pass out in each other's arms.
Yeah, when the Mad Max guy shows up and it's like original X-Men movie fucking Sabretooth. And it's, oh shit, we're finally going to give the people what they want. Oh, here, hold on, let me pull all my knives out of you because you look ridiculous. Yeah. All right, now, fight.
How long does this regenerative thing take?
Well, Deadpool's is, like, almost instantaneous. And I think Wolverine's, like, pretty fucking close. Well, see, Deadpool's, like, I saw a thing, it was like, their healing factors are kind of different because Deadpool is, like, dying of cancer, so his body is constantly regenerating. Like, Wolverine just has to regenerate when he gets hurt, but Deadpool is, like, in a constant state of regeneration because he's, like, basically always dying.
Like, is there a limit?
I don't know. Deadpool is, like, he is regrown from just a severed head. In the comics, anyway. Yeah, as long as there's, like, a cell left, a Deadpool will be born.
Into many, many pools.
Oh. Speaking of the mini pools, like I said, it's entirely too hard. There's so much like just like, oh my god, you remember this thing? That it's going to be in. This review is going to be like some crack monkey shit because we can't keep up with the continuity because we're just going to be bouncing around. Like, I mean, I'm excited. Brad's high on Dayquil. We're going to be all over the place. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump way forward till we finally. They kept talking about him. We met Dogpool and Nicepool, which I like animals. That is the ugliest fucking dog I have ever seen. I mean, I don't even know what kind of dog that is, but that is just the thing of nightmares. I mean, I thought Chihuahuas were ugly, but I think like just the tongue hanging out and shit. Oh. And then him like basically making out with it. I'm like, bro. But yeah, we got fucking Nicepool and shit. But yeah, when the Deadpool core, because they, the people of the Wasteland is like, well, don't go that way. The Deadpool cores, over there, and those people are really fucked up. It's like the Wasteland. We don't get a lot of Wolverines in the Wasteland, but this place is just stupid with pools. And when they finally the Cassandra Nova sends the Deadpool core after Pool and Wolverine, and just the mass of pool. Like, I was like, oh shit, there's Headpool and Ladypool and fucking.
Dude, it was like being a Dragon Con.
Western Pool. Yeah, that's one thing. Like, last year, like, there's always been a lot of Deadpools at Dragon Con, but it's kind of waned in the last couple of years.
There's going to be so many Deadpools.
Last year, it was like just a shitload of Barbies and Kens. This year, it's all going to be Deadpools and Wolverines. Just. This movie gave everyone a license to make any kind of variant of Deadpool they want to make, and it's
as if they weren't already.
Yeah, and I mean it's going to be like the Ken and Barbie last year. It was like, hey Pool,
just one of us. Literally.
I mean, if we're out
a
smoking,
murder of pools,
and 100 Deadpools come out, I'm like, all right, that's going to be a little more comfortable in that environment than I was when the 100 Barbies showed up.
Just an ocean of pink.
Yeah. You're like,
pink and
we're
neon.
in danger. Did you, out of the pools, did you have a favorite pool?
Totally Dogpool.
Dogpool was like fucking, and like the, basically like
and,
that.
And like Wild West fucking pool
Yeah.
is always one that I like.
Whatever, the Samurai Deadpool too looked badass. Yeah, I mean, but that was like
that's one of those where like you were talking about on home video where it's like pause, so that way I can actually like try to figure out like there's just so much happening.
Seen like just posts on Facebook like, hey, look at this pool. I was like, yeah, because they had like Canadian pool. They had Wrexham pool because Ryan Reynolds owns that fucking soccer team. So there was like it had like the Welsh flag on his chest. And that was pretty much the same where he's like, all right, all my friends that want to have cameos, we're going to stick you in because apparently Cowboy Pool was Matthew McConaughey. Head Pool was Nathan Fillion. Which is just Deadpool's zombified severed head that flat. But yeah, his whole like Lady Pool is his wife. Kid Pool is his oldest daughter, and then Baby Pool was his like youngest kid. It's like just put like the entire Pool family in there.
It's like, oh god, she's back.
Yeah, apparently the whatever Welsh Pool that was one of like his like soccer players too.
Oh, that's kind of cool then. It's like, hey, I own you. You want to be in a Deadpool movie? Okay.
Oh, but like he pulls out fucking nice pool. It's like, all right, I'm gonna use like a human shield, and they like just shoot the fuck out of him. He's like, all right, how long does it take you to regenerate? Regenerate? I don't regenerate. It's like, ah, shit. And then Wolverine picks up dog pool, and they're like, whoa, nobody shoot. He's got dog pool. Like, they don't give a fuck about nice pool, but like, nobody hurt the dog.
Well, I just love that Peter got his comeuppance. Where
he shows up in like fucking Deadpool outfit. He's like, guys, stop. This pool's with me. I'm like, oh shit, it's Peter. They're like, what? You know him? Go, hell yeah, every universe has a Peter. So he's like, he finally got to be in Deadpool. Oh.
But Ryan Reynolds trying to be the car salesman. That was fucking great.
What's the difference between this car and the other one? Well, this car doesn't suck ass. Sorry, I don't have kids. Pardon my language. Oh, speaking of cars, when they steal or borrow Nice Pool's car to make it across the wasteland, and they end up getting in a fight inside that thing. That's probably one of the best fight scenes. Is those two just immortal motherfuckers just like slicing it, like, but stuck inside this tiny ass car. It's like CQP to a new level. And then it shows later they both just kind of like fought till they're like just decided to take a nap because they can't do anything to each other. But the interior is just coated with blood. And Deadpool's like tied up with the fucking seatbelt, just like, shut the fuck up. You're on a timeout.
Such a fun dynamic. And going through all the different, fucking Wolverines through the years was pretty awesome.
Oh, the James Bond Wolverine?
Yeah.
Like the eye patch just playing poker or whatever they was playing. And he finally finds like
there was a lot more nostalgia and, references, like you were saying, like shit that it's probably going to take me 3 times watching to pick up on. Like Rachel right out of the gate, she was like, haha, it's funny. He referenced Gossip Girl because his wife's in Gossip Girl. She's like, you didn't get that, did you? Because you didn't watch Gossip Girl. I was like, I did not.
Well, apparently the guy who, and Rob Liefeld, like, it's kind of funny too because when he invented the character of Lady Pool, and this was before, like way before Ryan Reynolds and her was together, he designed it based on her because he was a huge Gossip Girls fan. So he's like, when he made Lady Pool, he drew it to look like, what's her name? And then she gets to play the character like all these years later. It's like everything's coming like a full circle.
Like the universe has spoken and said, yes, we want many, many pools. Keep doing this shit.
Oh, and then, so we already talked about Johnny Storm showing up, but when they get to like Cassandra Nova's castle in the wasteland, which is made out of like giant Ant-Man's dead body, and he's like, hey, Paul Rudd finally aged. But yeah, all the like the classic villains from like all the old movies and shit, like, oh, there's fucking like the X-Men version of Juggernaut, and for the most part, I mean, there was some exceptions where they had to get guys that just kind of looked that way, but for a lot of them, they brought back the original actors, even in these like the small like cameo bits, or at least got somebody that looked close enough to the original actors that it kind of paid off. But then we get the reveal of the Wasteland Resistance, and it's freaking Jennifer Garner, Elektra, X-23 from Logan, goddamn Blade. When Wesley Snipes walks out, that was another one of those things where I was like, holy fuck, it's goddamn Blade. And like he has that joke later, he's like, there's tons of Deadpools and Wolverines, but there's only one Blade, only ever will be one Blade. And then Ryan Reynolds like looks at the camera because there's supposed to be another Blade movie coming out with a different Blade. But now I want another like
Wesley Snipes.
Yes,
fucking Blade.
He can still. He's gotten older. There's a little gray in his goatee now, but motherfucker still is badass. I'm like, let's do another. And Ryan Reynolds says like, yeah, we need another like like a goodbye to Blade. Like, give him one more movie to kind of go out, because
Like, I mean, Blade was... Dude, that was one movie. It didn't matter if you were a comic book fan or not. Everybody fucking knew Blade.
yeah, I mean, that is, if it wasn't for Blade, we wouldn't have the MCU. That was the first Marvel movie. Like at the time, didn't even realize it was a freaking Marvel property, probably. But yeah, Deadpool was like, not Deadpool. Blade was like the first live action Marvel comic movie, and and I like that joke too, where he's like talking to Elektra, and she's like, yeah, Daredevil died. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, yeah, no big deal, because Ben Affleck, her ex-husband, was Daredevil in those movies. She's like, nah, it's cool, he's dead. But yeah, Blade just looked fucking. And then the other big fucking live action Channing Tatum Gambit was the thing I didn't know I needed in this life. Because that was like when they announced
Dude, that was a badass version of Gambit.
Yes, when they announced that, we're like, Channing Tatum is Gambit? Really? And then, like I said, Marvel got bought out by Disney. That movie got, all the pretty much the Fox Marvel properties got canceled, and it never got to play. And he keeps making those jokes. He's like, and everyone's like, yeah, we want one last adventure so we can say goodbye. And then he's like, or we never really got to have an adventure. We want, but. Now that I'm like, God damn it, I kind of want to see him as in a Gambit movie, because that is just fucking hilarious. And just the way he's talking that Cajun act, and Deadpool's like, what the fuck you saying? But yeah, I mean, Channing Tatum is like the king of cameos. Like him and This Is the End, where he's like the Gimp.
Yeah.
That motherfucker will do anything. He's like, for a dude who looks like, he should be like the leading man and just off the wall comedy shit. The dude, kind of like John Cena, like his comedy shit's way better than his action shit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I love seeing him as like not a serious actor. And watching some of those like bow staff, like I've seen some like videos of him training with like the bow staff. He's pulling off some moves that I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. Like he does this like where he spins the staff around his neck and then catches it. I'm like, I gotta practice that. That looks bad. So I'm like taking notes. I'm like, I gotta pull up some of these fucking Gambit moves here. He's like, and what do you do again? I charge the cards. I blow the cards. What the fuck was that? It's like this is the constant like, I don't understand what this motherfucker is saying. Whiskey Dick of the Claws. And just like a video game, Deadpool gets the upgrade to the golden Deagles.
Yes. You knew that was going to happen. He'd be like, he'd want me to have these.
Oh. Speaking of Deagles, have you seen the Deadpool Deagle that Johns Creek has?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
They had the King of Camo make a custom Deadpool edition Desert Eagle, and they are currently raffling it off, or they're having like a block party later this month. I definitely need to win that Deadpool Deagle.
It makes my wrist hurt.
It doesn't kick nearly as bad as I mean, I shot Mike's. It's just so fucking heavy that it's kind of like my 44. It soaks up a lot of the recoil. It's not like shooting a 500 Magnum.
It's just so expensive to shoot.
Yeah, it's like fucking $1 a round.
Yeah, I've blown $50 a lot quicker in a lot worse ways. So,
but yeah, that fight scene with the Deadpool core, that was like just some straight video game shit. Like just just basically like the side scroll of them just going through like the wave after wave of pools. And I seen a video come out recently of Hugh Jackman doing the what are ADR, where they, a lot of the time, especially like big action movies and shit, you have to go back and record your dialogue over like the video stuff, and just him in a sound booth doing all the fight noises, and he's like acting out like he's like such a fucking, like, it looks like a kid nerd thing. He's like, doing the slices with, just in front of a microphone, like, die. It's just hilarious watching that be filmed, like, separate from the actual scene. Then I'm like, fucking Hollywood's fun. I should have been an actor.
I don't know why. Like, you've always kind of wanted to go a comedy route or something. Like, pursue that shit, dude. Do it. You were in that one movie.
Yeah, it takes time.
You're in another movie. I don't know if you watched it yet.
What movie?
The wedding video.
Oh, yeah. I saw the trailer.
Oh, you haven't seen the full version yet?
No, you sent me like the
Oh, shit. Rachel put that shit all over Facebook. I figured you would have saw it.
I don't know.
Don't worry, I have her muted too.
I may have. I don't know.
It's like, she can't be in the know. She'll get us in trouble.
What are y'all fucking doing? Nothing.
No.
That's like when a man asks, like, hey, did you see that thing I sent you? I'm like, you sent me a lot of shit. You got to be more, like, specific. Which specific thing did you send me?
Created a monster. That's what I've done.
Oh, speaking of which, Facebook stuff. Had a Facebook memory pop-up today. Apparently today, 10 years ago, we recorded the intro to this show. I think our first episode came out like
Whoa. Is
September.
this our 10th anniversary?
Well, the first episode got released on September 11th. That would be the 10 year. But today is the 10 year.
How did we release a podcast episode on my anniversary? Is this one of those things that Rachel talks constant shit about to me?
No, we recorded previously. It just got released on the 11th. But today was the day that we, I guess, recorded all our like intros and outros and shit. All our segment
Went to
videos.
Guitar Center, bought our Zoom. It lasted 9 good years. Now our Zoom's got a fresh coat of paint. I like this Zoom a little bit better.
Zoom 2.0. Which I saw some YouTube guy doing like man on the street interviews, and he literally just had a Zoom in the like front shirt pocket, and then was like had like a regular mic. Like, just, I was like, hey, I've seen one of those.
That's a handy dandy piece of equipment, I tell you what. Dude, I am on the fucking struggle bus. Holy shit, this is Dayquil, not NyQuil. Why the fuck is it trying to put me to sleep?
Take another hit.
Okay.
You got to get past the sleepy into the where it's like I'm kind of a little fucked up. Oh, but yeah, of course he finds the
I'm gonna go drive a car.
they're like, brings Wolverine back, and he's like, hey, look, I found a Wolverine. We can just like plug him into my universe and not. He's like, dude, you found the worst Wolverine in all of the multiverse. Like, what? Yeah, he's like just an alcoholic guy. You find out pretty much like he like fucked off one night, and then the X-Men got murdered while he was gone, and so he went on like a vengeance spree and just killed a bunch of motherfuckers apparently, and now he's just.
But they were all bad guys, right?
Yeah. I killed everybody. Oh, but he's like, when he like, he's like, I've been to like every universe, and you're the only Wolverine that hasn't kicked my ass. So as soon as I showed up, so this must be, you're meant to be here. And he's like, fuck off, bub, or whatever. He's like, no, I love that line. He's like, you can come with me, or you can like take a deep breath through your fucking forehead. I'm like, I like that's a good line. I like that. Oh,
I love forehead breaths.
And then he's like, ooh, whiskey dick at the claws. But when he passes out and he goes to like pick him up, and he's like, oh shit, y'all won't believe this. And then he's like, yo, fucking in the like the classic like yellow, or even when he's jumping, like you see the brown uniform Wolverine in like one of the multiverse. He's like, hey, oh gee, Brown, hey, didn't you fight Hulk in this outfit? And then you see like Hulk behind him. He's like, oh shit. And Hulk just like fucking chunks his ass. Oh yeah, so now we need Wolverine versus Hulk movie in live action.
It just won't be as fun as Deadpool and Wolverine. Just two big ass egos.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. It's just a never ending dick showing competition.
Not Fight, you won't let him do that either. No cocaine, no dicks. You can stick your hand up somebody's ass, but as long as we don't see a dick. But then we have the what was it? The when they go back to the castle to make what's her name send them back. That fight scene with all the classic characters, you know, when they all get out of the car and shit, and then you're like, oh, did drunk Wolverine not come along? And he's like, I'm in the trunk. And then he's like, oh, it's like I've been waiting for this. I'm gonna make a name for myself. He's like, I don't think y'all are gonna make it out of this. And he's like, doesn't matter. Just let people know what happened here today. Let them know my name is Remy LeBeau.
God, and it was so epic.
Yes, just I want another Blade movie now. I want a Blade movie, and I want to. As much as I thought that was gonna be stupid when they announced it, I just for the comedy of it, I want a fucking Channing Tatum Gambit movie.
But is it because of him, or is it because of the cool effects of the cards? Because I really want that deck of cards.
Yeah, that looked really cool, and
like that was almost some like Doctor Strange-esque type shit on the cards.
Yeah, finally seeing that like in true live. I mean, there was a brief Gambit in that horrible whatever Wolverine Origins movie that had the fucked up Deadpool. But yeah, seeing it and him in like the full like comic accurate. I mean, we just finished watching X-Men 97. And it's like, dude, he's actually wearing the fucking Gambit outfit. This is awesome. I mean, he didn't have the black contact lenses, but other than that, it was like, he's full Gambit. It's fucking awesome. That, and we said it was, yeah, there was a couple scenes where I actually yelled out in theaters. And we saw him in like the yellow Wolverine outfit. But when they get to that Deadpool fight and he reaches behind and pulls on the mask and you're like, holy shit, they're going full Wolverine. That was another one of those moments in the theater when I was like, fuck yes, like yelling at the screen. He's like, you know, even Deadpool's like, oh shit. And like, he's like, I only normally wear it for fights. He's like, all right then. He makes that joke, dude. He's like, you may not recognize him. This is Wolverine. Usually he's shirtless, but yeah, he let himself go after the divorce. But when they like, you know, you've got to short circuit the World Destroyer, and they pull the Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's hold hands and like share the power so we don't like die. And his shirt like blows off, and he's like just fucking ripped. And it's like, I may be old, but I can still do it. He's like, I just didn't want to do it for this whole movie. We're going to save it for one scene because it's going to take me however long we've been shooting this to get back to like, you know, Wolverine status.
God.
And that was one of the questions I think I've seen in some of like the interviews was that a body double or is Hugh still that jacked? They're like, no, that's all Hugh, baby.
Motherfucking Hugh jacked, man.
That's not CGI. That's still it's still Hugh. I mean, he wasn't as swole as he was in was it the Wolverine movie where he went to Japan? That was when he was on like peak steroids. I mean, he was like fucking huge in that movie. But I mean, Homeboy was fucking ripped. I mean, I guess he's finally hitting like old man strength.
Shit, every day I'm waiting on mine to kick in. It's not here yet. see you contemplating. I don't know
I'm
what
just
you're...
trying to like figure out when old. I think you got to be in your 50s before old men strength. I'm thinking of like some of the old men I know. Yeah. I think you got to hit your 50s before you get full old man strength.
Well, I feel like I'm in my 50s.
Because now we're in middle-aged man strength. That's usually like your lowest point. You peak in your 20s, and then you kind of valley out in your 40s, and you go back up in your 50s.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm starting to reach my peak. I'm going to a rave. That's how I know I'm peaking.
Speaking of raves, have you looked at the Dragon Con musical lineup this year?
No.
There's like actually a couple metal bands coming. Fucking Power Glove's playing, and Galactic Empire, which is a Star Wars themed metal band. It's kind of like Cybertronic Spree, but Star Wars characters. Like their drummer is Boba Fett.
Yeah, I've heard of both. I've never...
Technically, Spree's still playing. They're just not playing at Dragon Con. They're playing down the road, but they're going to be there that same
during
weekend.
Dragon Con weekend.
Yeah, they're going to be at the Masquerade Saturday night.
Yeah. So,
but I saw Power Glove once opening for MC Chris back in the day.
I know there was another
they're pretty
concert
good.
they were in that we were going to try to go to, and either we forgot about it or something else
Maybe.
happened, and we just never made it.
But yeah, Power Gloves puts on a pretty good show. But I've never seen Galactic Empire, but I've seen their YouTube videos. I'm like, definitely want to hit that concert. Fight off all the pools to get to the...
Do we have another episode before Dragon Con?
We should. We have time for another episode before Dragon Con.
Or you're saying you have time?
Yeah, I mean, say, are you going to be here? If you're here, yes, we have time for one more episode before Dragon Con. August is a long month.
So I have to go to every rave at Dragon Con to prepare for the weekend after Dragon Con.
So you're going to go to those like late night DJ shows at like 2 in the morning?
Yeah, I guess so.
When you go pick you up some glow sticks and some pacifiers?
Yeah. A couple of knee replacements while you're at it. I told you, I created a monster.
Getting too old for this shit, Riggs.
Apparently not. Apparently I'm peaking now.
Get you one of those rainbow afro wigs.
I don't know what I'm wearing yet. Have no idea. Probably just I'm here for the rave booty.
Time to go to the hot topic.
Time to go to the vendor hall. They have all the retro neon shit.
Yeah, true enough. I want to find another. We bought those horror.
Dude, I still wear
thing.
the shit out of mine.
Yeah, I got to get another one of those.
No, that's your cigar nerds.
Yeah, I figure it's talking about Deadpool. I should put on a Hawaiian shirt for this episode because that was kind of pool-esque.
You never send me memos. I would have probably wore the wrong one anyway.
I missed it. They had a Hawaiian shirt contest at one of the breweries around here, but I was like, I couldn't. Amanda was working. I couldn't get the time to go. But I was like, I was gonna rock that the fucking horror. But yeah, if that booth is there and they got a different shirt, I'm definitely buying another one of those. Because I had the one that was like the Freddy colors that looked pretty cool.
Yeah, the only one they had was like way too big for me.
Yeah, those things are kind of like a button up. Most time I wear a 2X, but those was like I could have gotten to an extra large because they were like definitely a size bigger than what they're labeled as.
But yeah. I mean, a Hawaiian shirt's supposed to be big. It's supposed to be flowy. And my, you gotta have the big belly.
Oh, speaking of which, do you know Deadpool's swords are named?
No, I don't think so.
Deadpool's a huge Golden Girls fan. His swords are named B. Arthur. I saw like a picture, and on the tip of the very bottom of the handle, I guess you call that the pommel, one of them says B and the other one says Arthur.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I really want bone leg nunchucks. So.
I think one of my pairs are wooden. I don't know. Like, we keep talking about nunchucks. Like, I'm going to get up and go get them and be like, hey, got nunchucks.
I mean, I think there's a pair of nunchucks over there in the corner. I know there's 2 in my gym bag. Oh, but
I haven't tried to mess with them yet. I haven't really messed with nunchucks since I was a teenager, and I'm like, ow, I'm doing a slap myself. Ow. This is not working like it does on fucking Ninja Turtles.
I'm all right with one. I've literally been trying to figure out how to like do the double chucking. That's a lot harder to do because you're like one hand has to do something different than the other hand. It's like trying to like work them both with independently of one another is the potential for smacking yourself goes way up when you're rocking double chucks.
I love how we talked 45 minutes about Deadpool and all of the things we've covered. You know what we haven't done?
What?
Like, absolutely spoiled the shit out of the movie. Like, there's just so much happening.
Yeah.
Like, most of the time, it's like, we were talking about doing that Twisters episode or whatever, and I'm just like, it's kind of meh in my opinion. Like, Deadpool is so much better.
Yeah. But now we got to come up with another topic for next week because it was Twisters.
Titty Twisters?
Actually, it was going to be Twisters, then Deadpool, but we were a week late, so we just switched up for Deadpool. So
I don't really even care about, like...
There's a hole in the schedule for next episode. We got to come up with something.
I still have $15 on my gift card. Dude, movies are fucking expensive.
Yeah, no shit.
I bought 2 tickets. It was $42.
Is there anything else coming out this month before the next, or anything out currently before the next recording?
I don't know. There was some shit coming out in August, but I don't remember.
I mean, we haven't talked about The Boys, the last season of The Boys yet.
I'm so far behind on that.
Or the Cobra Kai came out, but they're breaking that up into 3 parts, so might as well wait till it's complete before we talk about the last season of Cobra Kai. But this is a conversation we can have after the show.
No, dude, this is exactly what Deadpool would do. He would stop everything.
You break the 4th wall
and be like,
we're just gonna turn and start talking to the GoPro so we can like, hey, fucking nice pull. I can gently caress the 4th wall. I can't fully break it. Oh,
I wish I was nice.
I wonder who is this world's Peter. Another thing too is like at the end of it, we expected this to be like everything collapses, everything is now part of main MCU, Earth 616. But by destroying the world, like he actually like reset his world, and like they're like, not only is your world like no longer dying, it's thriving. So that kind of Fox Marvel universe exists. So if they want to cross over, we can still get those old characters at some point. I mean, we know like when he's in the TVA like headquarters, they're like, he's showing, he's like, it's time to join us another universe, and he's showing him like clips from like the proper MCU, and there's one with like him and Thor holding him and crying. It's like, why was Thor crying? And they never like answer that question the whole movie. So I'm like, he's going to show up later in an Avengers movie or something. We got Secret Wars. I'm sure that's Deadpool's going to be back for Secret Wars, because we got to get a payoff of that. Why is Thor holding Deadpool and crying? I mean, we didn't even get that in the like post credits. All we got in the post credits was like when they end up at the Ant-Man castle there, and he's like, oh yeah, this guy, he said all these nasty things about you. And he's like, no, I didn't. You're lying. He's like, no. He said like, I don't give a shit if she just rips my skin off and, fuck that bitch. And she's like, oh, really? And like, fucking kill. And the whole thing was like, Wolverine's like, you got that poor Johnny killed. And then he was like, hey, the fucking book, I'm tired of everyone saying that I got Johnny killed. In fact, watch this. And it's him saying every single thing Deadpool said that he said. He's like, told y'all, motherfuckers.
I don't know. Like what? Everything exists in all facets now. Like I don't know what we get after this.
Yeah, it's great because I mean,
But, I mean, in an era where everybody wants to bitch and argue about, oh, this is canon, that's not canon, and blah, 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 and it's like, all right, all cards are on the table now, motherfucker.
Yeah, and I think Marvel kind of had a plan up till Endgame, and they've kind of been struggling since Endgame. Like, with the exception of the last Doctor Strange movie I thought was good, and the Spider-Man movies that have come out post-Endgame. But everything else has just been kind of a little bit weak.
I mean, Star Wars did the same thing, though. Like, we went so long, and then we started getting, like, some of the one-offs, and then, the main fucking movies, and it was like every year was another Star Wars, and it's like, no, we're over-inundated with Star Wars. We're over-inundated with, superhero shit. Like, need 2 or 3 years to fucking cool off, and...
Yeah, and even Feige came out and said, hey, like, yeah, we've kind of gone to quantity over quality, and now we need to pull that back and concentrate more on making quality product, not quantity product. And we'll probably talk about that in news. They've made some announcements that sounds like they're trying to correct the ship a little bit, but if this is... I'm sure we'll see Deadpool again. I don't know if we'll see another Deadpool solo film, but I really want to see him interact with the rest of the MCU. Just the sheer fuckery of it.
It's like, I want to be an Avenger.
Yeah, that job interview with Happy Hogan. I forgot about that for a second, but yeah, when he travels to, like, that's what started his depression and why he gave up being a hero and became a car salesman, because he traveled to, like, 616 and was like, I want to be an Avenger, and he's like, no. Sorry, bud, you're just a little bit too weird for us right now.
I want to talk to the man. Where's the man? Like, well, you got to go through me to get to this. So you're not the man. I want to... Like, I could totally relate every job interview ever.
I need some gold deagles now, though. It's just so
Dude,
awesome.
It's just crazy. Like, I'm waiting for us to stop recording and be like, fuck, we forgot to talk about this, and oh shit, this other thing, and...
There's, like, just so much, and, like I said, yeah, this is one of those movies that had to be seen on the big screen, and has to be seen, like, multiple times to get every little fucking thing in there. Like, I can't wait till it comes out on video when it hits Disney Plus or whatever, where I can actually pause this shit and be like, really, like, analyze and rewind stuff, because there is just so much shit in this movie that it's like...
Well, this is one that I kind of feel like I wish I would have tried to get 3D tickets for. Yeah,
because when I got it, it was like I didn't... Timing-wise, I had to go see a standard film. If it's still out in... I may have to go back and see it again while it's in theaters, just so I can get that 3D experience. Which... I think this might be in the 4D. Because I've not done that yet. Apparently we've got one down in Atlantic Station that has the 4D theaters where...
Well, I did see that the original 96 Twister and the newer Twisters was going to get a 4DX, a couple showings. I'm like, that might be pretty cool to experience.
Yeah, I've never done any of the 4Ds, but when I saw an ad for it, I looked it up, and apparently...
What you know about triple Ds?
Piranha triple Ds.
God.
But yeah,
talk about obscure movies that you can't find. Try to find the Piranha movies. They are so fucking difficult.
But yeah, the AMC down in Atlantic Station has a 4D theater.
That's so far away.
Go check that out.
There's so much traffic.
You can take MARTA. There's a bus that goes from the MARTA station over there. That's how I went to the last beer fest at Atlantic Station, because I knew I wasn't going to be sober enough to drive.
God, I think the last time I was in it... No, we did the storage unit haunted houses, or the storage container haunted house.
I went down there and saw the bodies exhibit. That's probably the last time I went down to Atlantic Station, as me and a man went to look at the bodies. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Oh, yeah. during the Deadpool fight, Deadpool versus all the Deadpools, when they end up on the bus, and we don't get like inside shot, we just get the outside shot, and the windows are just slowly getting like covered in blood.
Oh yeah.
And they bust out the back window, and you get that like epic like comic book like flash page of like fucking Wolverine leaping through the airs with the claws, and then Deadpool just like trips and falls on his face. Like, damn it, that was so cool. And that's all anyone's gonna talk about is me falling on my fucking face.
This is such a great fucking movie, folks. I just
Yes, like I said,
fucking
if you're
go and see it, and don't drink a bottle of Dayquil or whatever the fuck this shit is before
do
you
you remember
go.
Blood of the Q?
Blood of the Q? No.
It was that one time. I don't remember if you were there. I know it was me and Steve were there. It was we were sick, but we also wanted to get drunk, so we made a cocktail that was NyQuil and vodka. We called it Blood of the Q. So you got drunk and treated your cold at the same time.
Whoa.
I don't recommend it, but
Do
it's a thing you can do.
Do I have man flu? Am I
Can't
dying?
tell if I'm sick or hungover.
I'm sick of being hungover.
Man, I haven't drunk since that last steampunk convention. I need to like go do some reps and get my liver in shape for Dragon Con, so I don't die at the phone booth.
I don't know. Like, the drinks are so tasty. Like, it's
almost bucket time. Those buckets are so. I hate those things, but Amanda she's like, I has a bucket, yay!
I mean, at this point, it's the novelty of the bucket, but, you know, pretty much, unless this is your first con, you already know how to make the bucket a rum bucket.
Yeah, it's like, just use
your own flask.
Yeah. Because, yeah, that shit's like pre-made, and it tastes like there's no alcohol in it. It's Kool-Aid and like maybe a splash of rum. So just bring extra rum to like, pour in your bucket to get the full bucket experience. So as we kind of wrap up Deadpool and Wolverine, this here gold label, I like it. It's got it's very smooth with hints of kind of caramel and coffee, which I do like. I try to get away from sweets, but caramel is kind of like my one weakness, and that just like coffee caramel, but a very like kind of smooth like smokiness to it. Like it's feels luxurious. I guess hence the gold label, so you look fancy. But unlike some of the fancier Rockies, it's not that expensive. It's like a $12-13 cigar, so it's not in the super luxury price range, but it's a luxury experience. But that's all we got for you this week. Go see fucking Deadpool while it's still in theaters. If you've already seen it, go see it again because you probably missed something. I know I missed something. I got to see that shit again. And we'll be right back with some science. And you've been watching the Cigar Nerds podcast. Check us out on cigarnerdpodcast.com and on the ESO Network, esonetwork.com. And don't forget, smoke them if you got them. Like, comment, and subscribe.